What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing what is actually going to kill Destiny 2. Many content creators have made videos in this similar vein over the years, but this week I saw a video from Fallout Plays reacting to Aztecross, reacting to Grenader Jake's video on the state of Destiny and the truth about the game. And now I'm redoing this intro for this video because True Vanguard also hopped on the train the day after I uploaded this video. I scheduled it for Friday because I had other content scheduled, but now you'll be getting it early because I want to hop on the bandwagon too. So smash that like button and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. Give me a super like, subscribe to the Patreon, join my Discord, buy my merch, and now sit back for this 2-minute ad on a mobile game that I've never played, but I'm going to tell you to download and pretend it's the best thing ever. Just kidding. But for real, I did listen to Jake's video a little while back, but I can't remember all what he said. I didn't really watch any of the React videos because React content isn't really my thing. If I want Destiny news, I usually just watch Paul Tassi. I watch Bife for lore, and other than that, I just watch solo speedruns of GMs and dungeons to try and expand my knowledge of the game. If you want an amazing creator to watch, I recommend Titus69. He has some of the smoothest gameplay I've ever seen, and he's a joy to watch. He came from Monster Hunter, which is a game I actually enjoyed a lot back in the day, and it appears this guy is just a straight up cracked gamer. And since I'm giving shoutouts, my homies Ark and Time Lord are cracked gamers as well. They don't post often, but it is always fun to watch when they do. Anyways, I don't really care about opinion pieces unless they come from Datto, and my content is pretty much solely focused on helping players understand the game and to improve. And on that topic, I've been working super hard on a passion project of mine that I've wanted to make for 2 years. I don't want to spoil it, but it will be super helpful and I'm very excited to showcase them to the community. So yeah, if you do want to become a better player, hit the bell so you don't miss those videos. And also, no shade to Cross and Fallout and True Vanguard and these guys who cover these topics and do brand deals and stuff. I say get that bag. YouTube is not an easy career and props to those guys for making it work. I have watched them for a lot of years and I'm actually a fan. I understand they have bills to pay, but React content or a video on the amount of pre-orders that have been made for a DLC 3 months out just isn't really my thing. I like to focus on the actual video game. But ironically, I have been wanting to make a video on this very topic for a very long time, so now seems like the right time. And in this video, I will be giving my thoughts on the direction of the game over the years and what the future has in store. So let's dive in. Like many of you, I've been playing Destiny for the better part of a decade. I dabbled in D1, really only playing for a few months each expansion. But for Destiny 2, I have never wavered. I started playing it at launch and haven't taken a break since. I've been at least ranked 230 in every season pass, so to say I play a lot is an understatement. I have over 6,000 hours in this game, and that is split evenly across all 3 characters. I do consider myself an expert. That rank 230 season was actually Season of the Deep, which I thought was a pretty weak season, and it was in the summer when I like to do shit outside. So to get some context for how Destiny will die, we have to look at how it has evolved over the years. So I want to start there. When D2 launched, we had a double primary system and almost zero build crafting. Build crafting consisted of an exotic and a subclass node. That was basically it. We got some raid-specific mods in the Leviathan raid, but that was it. Also, gameplay-wise, there just wasn't a whole lot to do. But then with Warmind, we actually started getting some in-game secrets and just more activities to do. And they launched an exotic mission in the Whisper of the Worm, which we had never seen in Destiny 2 to that point. I will never forget when that mission dropped. The buzz in the community was palpable, and everyone was trying to get this new, extremely powerful weapon from this super hard activity which had a time limit. I remember when I beat it after a few tries, I was so pumped. It was such a cool feeling, and it was the most exciting time Destiny 2 had really had since its launch. Then Forsaken came out and we had a shit ton of innovation. 9 new subclass nodes, special weapons returned, and unlike in D1, this system allowed specials in the kinetic slot as well. We also got random rolls added back to our guns. D2 launched with static rolls, so once you earned a weapon, there was never really a reason to grind for it again. Forsaken also gave us a bunch of new exotics to play around with, a whole ass endgame destination with the Dreaming City, plus another destination in the Tangled Shore, as well as an awesome story. There was a ton of content to do and explore. And maybe, most importantly, they gave us an entirely new game mode in Gambit. So instead of having just Strikes and Crucible as our core activities, we now had a third. And I will get to why Gambit was so important later. They also introduced the concept of seasons. So we got Black Armory, aka Season of the Forge, which was amazing, Season of the Drifter, which brought us Gambit Prime, again, another innovative activity, and Season of Opulence, which was also a banger. And in Season of the Drifter, we got another one of these incredible secret exotic missions for Outbreak Perfected. This mission was super cool, and to this day, it and the Whisper missions are the best exotic missions we've ever gotten, and sadly, neither is in the game anymore. My first video ever on this channel was me solo flawlessing the Outbreak Perfected mission. I loved it. It was a great mix of traversal, combat, and challenge. And again, the timer in the mission added to the stakes. So then, after the years of Forsaken, we got Shadowkeep. Community sentiment was that it was underwhelming, but it did bring us Armor 2.0, Champions, and Artifact mods, which fundamentally changed how we played Destiny. It gave us depth to build crafting, adding the Charge of Light mechanic, and it made me fall in love with the Crucible all over again as I could abuse these mods in there as well. Because from launch to Shadowkeep, I played a lot of Crucible, but then this added a new dimension, but it also got me even more into the PvE side of the game, because there was now some depth there and build crafting to sink my teeth into. And I just didn't stop. I started soloing everything I could, and throughout the year, they added more and more Charge with Light mods. And then before the year of Shadowkeep was over, they added even more mods with Warmind Cell mods. So again, this further enhanced our build crafting. And then in Beyond Light, we got Stasis added to the game, a whole new subclass for us to play around with a completely different way of build crafting. It was based around aspects and fragments instead of subclass nodes. And also in that year, we got Elemental Well mods. This took build crafting even further, and you could make countless builds to suit whatever playstyle you wanted. So again, the gameplay was changed and innovated on, just like with Forsaken and just like with Shadowkeep. And then we got the Witch Queen, and every season we got a new 3.0 subclass starting with Void. Then we got Solar and then Arc. So every season we had new aspects and fragments to sink our teeth into and play around with. And then with Lightfall, they deprecated the old mod system, which dumbed down build crafting. They also made Sandbox changes that made the game much easier as a whole. Getting rid of Match Game opened up so many loadout options, but the big one was tying subclass verbs to champion stuns. So you weren't pigeonholed into a certain type of weapon loadout to deal with champs. Your build flexibility rose exponentially, which meant you could abuse the best stuff much more easily. So for longtime players who had gotten better and better with the old Sandbox, suddenly the game got much easier. Personally, I love that certain subclass verbs can stun certain champion types. I'm not saying this was a bad change, but it certainly made the game easier. But the reason I give you this long history lesson on the changes over the years is to harp on the one thing that is killing Destiny these days, and that is innovation. However, the fix is not so simple. Bungie has done a great job of innovating over the years and keeping the game fresh. It released in 2017, and a ton of us are still playing it. Very few games have that much staying power, and I didn't even hit on half the changes they made. They also introduced GMs and trials, and those were fun for a lot of players for a long time. But eventually, they get stagnant. And right now, Bungie is really trying to make good changes to the Crucible, changing player health and matchmaking and game types and all these things. But here's the truth of the matter. It is a 7-year-old game. We are all experts at this point. Outbreak and Whisper were truly amazing missions, but they were also special because they were new. We had never really seen activities like them. We then got the Hawkmoon exotic mission, Vox Obscura, Seraph Shield, Wishkeeper, Presage, Bad Juju, etc. I'm probably missing some. Heck, I just thought of Wicked Implement as well. Presage is a super good mission, like really good, but it will never hit the same as Outbreak or Whisper because we are used to it by now. Those missions were crazy and innovative and new at the time, so now it just doesn't hit the same no matter what Bungie does. Same with raids. OG Vault of Glass was unlike anything we'd ever seen. Now we have 8 raids in the game currently, and there have been 13 in Destiny total. So we pretty much know what to expect from raids. We also got dungeons. Shattered Throne was amazing at the time. Again, a super cool and unique experience that we'd never seen. Now we have a total of 8 dungeons in the game, and generally, each one is better than the last, yet we are used to the formula by now. We are getting complacent with the game. Season of the Wish and Season of the Witch were probably 2 of the best seasons that we've had in a very long time, and we had them back to back. Yet, people are just tired of the same old formula. It doesn't matter how good of a season they make. You can make the best seasonal activity ever, but it still boils down to just killing enemies as quickly as you can. They could have Black Armory released today, and people would definitely complain. Not because the content is bad, but just because nothing is new anymore. I mentioned Gambit was super important because it added a third core activity to the game, but the game got less centered on the core activities and more on new seasonal activities for us to play. But even if Bungie had given us new Gambit maps and new this and new that, the gameplay of Gambit would have still been fundamentally the same. It is extremely hard as humans to fight complacency. Too much of anything is just not good. Too much Destiny and you will burn out. You can have too much sex, you can party too much, etc. All those things are very fun in moderation, but if you do them day in, day out, they will take a toll. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you're burnt out on Destiny, take a break. There has truly never been a better time to step away than right now since we have this super long season. I give mad props to Bungie for keeping it going this long. And hell, I still really enjoy playing the game. I enjoy trying new builds and making fun, unique ways to play. That is where I get my enjoyment from the game. But I really don't know how to fix the core issue, which is newness. You can't really get that back. I've seen so much discourse over the year on new Destiny killers. Anthem comes along, a bunch of big YouTubers cover Anthem, and then they come back to Destiny. Monster Hunter World, which I have played and really enjoyed, but then back to Destiny. Diablo 4, you get the picture. People keep coming back, which is good, but it is never going to feel like it used to. I remember the first time I solo flawlessed a dungeon. It was Pit of Heresy, and the feeling was euphoric. I felt light and excited, and my hands were trembling a bit at the end. I have now solo flawlessed dozens of dungeons, and I did each one this season, and pretty much all on my first try. I'm just used to it by now. There's no excitement in it for me anymore. I'm not blaming anyone, it's simply human nature. So the real killer of Destiny is Destiny itself, or complacency and old age. I'm not really sure what they can do to innovate at this point. Like, I love the game more than any I've ever played and I still enjoy it, but I definitely enjoy it for different reasons than I used to. There's no magic there anymore, and I don't think it can be recaptured for long-term players. We've effectively beaten the game. Another big problem is the new player experience and how onboarding new people is very difficult and not well laid out at all. So you have veterans leaving, but no one really coming in to replace them. Again, a new title like a Destiny 3 or a totally new IP would give you a huge influx of new people and give everyone the same starting off point. I honestly feel like that is what's next. Destiny 2 has had an amazing run, and I will keep playing it until they stop making content because I just love the game and the gameplay, but it will never have that same feeling that it used to, and that's just a reality we all have to face. Anyways, comment down below what you think. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you are still watching, thanks for watching to the end. I appreciate it. Like I said, I have a ton of awesome content coming your way, so subscribe so you don't miss those videos. Take care.